Welcome to BRUDE Talk episode 1. So before we start BRUDE Talk episode 1, I just wanted to let you guys know, just to bear with us, this is a new thing for us. The topics do get pretty juicy and the set will improve. We're just trying new things, and for me, I don't like to wait. I think waiting to try something new actually takes longer to actually try it, so instead of waiting for things to be perfect, we just did it. I hope you guys enjoy the new show. I know me and the homies had fun. Alright, welcome to BRUDE Talk. Today we're going to address the GIXXER hate. I got my homies Storm 6R and Nasty Nate.
What's up?
What up?
A lot of you guys think I do not like GIXXERs. I don't like GIXXER riders. We're here to address your guys' incompetence.
Jesus.
Okay, what do you didn't you ride a GIXXER before?
I did. I had a 2014 GIXXER 750.
No kidding.
And I was I was your typical GIXXER rider. I'm gonna be completely honest.
What does that mean anyway? What is a typical GIXXER rider? Okay,
I think that means flip-flops, shorts, a t-shirt, no gear, full school.
But they have gear. They got icon vests.
True, yeah. The classic icon vests and maybe a $200 helmet.
What is the icon vest?
There's nothing wrong with. It's just
on our way back from the track, we seen one. Remember? Yeah, icon helmet, icon vest on a GIXXER,
dude. Yeah.
Holy shit!
I spit nothing but facts, but there's nothing wrong with There's nothing wrong with GIXXERs. Like, what do you think of your GIXXER when you rode it? When you owned a GIXXER, did you like it?
GIXXERs are sick. Honestly, I kind of wish I got another one. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Over the GIXXER?
Yeah, I like my GIXXER a lot.
I mean, when it comes to power and at least bang for your buck, a GIXXER is the best you can really get.
So I realized when I was editing this that the GIXXER hate was kind of glossed over. Let me explain. I do not dislike GIXXERs or GIXXER riders. When I decided to go Adobo Moto full time, I needed to garner attention, and GIXXER was the right way to go. The GIXXER hate, the GIXXER slander, has been going around for a long time. It's nothing new. Some of y'all just can't take a joke, or you're just, I'm not gonna say it. But it was easy marketing for me. No, I don't hate GIXXERs. I love GIXXERs. I think they're one of the most reliable motorcycles of all time. I've probably owned about 10 of them myself. And again, the truth is, a lot of y'all just can't take a joke. But yeah, it doesn't matter. You guys are gonna watch some shorts where I slandered GIXXERs. You guys are still gonna act crazy. It's just the nature of YouTube. It's the nature of being online. Some people just don't have any lives. Back to the BRUDE Talk.
Which is why we always crap on it, because it's like, of course you're gonna get the best thing that you can.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like people crapping on BMWs, like the S1Ks.
Sure.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
It's like, of course you're gonna flock to get the best thing that you can for your money. And those two things are easily, like without a doubt, the best you can get for your money.
Absolutely. I think I equate GIXXERs, like Suzuki especially, to like Honda.
Yeah.
Like in the car world, Honda Civics, they're just reliable. They just work. They make a lot of power, right? The K series, if you know about the K series, Hondas, they make a lot of power.
They're reliable if you take care of it, and that's pretty much the same thing with the GIXXERs. Is if you take care of it, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Ever.
So
Ever have to worry about it.
I hope we address that. I actually enjoy GIXXERs. The GSX-R, Suzuki in general, Team Suzuki in World Endurance Racing, they are the most feared team in that class.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they won like 16.
Okay, yeah.
16 world titles,
So
dude.
it's kind
And
of
then they quit. Yeah.
It's kind of like Audi in the rally world where they're like, you can't participate no more.
Yeah.
It's like, we're going to need you to leave some for the rest of the people.
Right, yeah. They quit out of nowhere, which is kind of a shame. And they want to focus on more like saving the world type. I don't think motorcycles in general are really emissions I don't think they affect emissions that much. What do you think?
I mean, of course it's going to affect emissions, but it's not going to be anything like a car. I think simply just because of how, like, it's significantly less power.
Yeah, the footprint of a motorcycle I don't think is as big as automobiles.
I don't think it's not nearly as large.
Not that many people commute on. Do you commute? You commute on a bike sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I should probably stop, honestly, though.
Why?
I'm tired of riding bikes, I'll be honest.
What do you mean tired of what?
This man does one track day.
What? One track day, dude, and you're done with bikes.
Like, you know what? I can retire. Yeah, I'm just gonna retire.
I got my knee dragged, so.
Oh my gosh!
It was more like a knee scratch, dude. I don't know what you dragged, but hey, man. Okay, let's get off topic real quick. How was your first track day?
Man, that was honestly the most fun I've ever had on the bike.
See,
Yeah.
didn't we tell
The
you
most
that?
fun.
We literally told you like leading up to it. We're like, bro, you gotta do a track.
Yeah, it's the most fun. I think a couple of my friends actually they asked me because I think they're kind of skeptical about the track, and it's probably because you're going in a circle for hours and hours. And
It
it's
ain't no circle.
no,
No,
this
it's
is
different.
this is
and you will
different,
never
man.
have
Yeah.
the same 2 laps.
I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
this shit is fun, man. I could do
Ever.
this every day if I
Yeah.
wanted to.
When you, I think the misconception with track days is that it's like, oh, you're just going around the same circle the whole time. But to be honest, if you apply certain techniques and you try to get better at certain techniques, it does become really fun. Like trying to hit every apex, right?
yeah.
Learning when to be off the throttle or when to be on the throttle. Taking basically, turn 11 is basically a U-turn.
Yeah.
Right. And when you said I pointed out the cone.
Oh yeah, dude, it was like a switch in my head. I was like, dude, this makes sense. That turn became so much easier for me.
Yeah.
Because when you first hit that turn, you're like, dude, this is a U-turn
Yeah.
coming from 80 to 12 miles an hour. How the hell am I supposed to do this?
Yeah, and there's a proper way to take it, right?
Oh,
You
yeah.
got to aim for that cone and then look where you're going. Yeah. There's another area too on the chicane, right? When you're late braking,
Oh yeah.
it feels like an oh crap moment. And then I was telling some guy in A group because I was following him the first time, and I was like, hey man, thanks for the tow. I was like, are you a racer? He's like, no, this is my 8th track day. And I was like, that's dope, dude. He's like a motocrosser. He's an older gentleman.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I almost ran into you a couple of times. And he's like, no kidding. And I showed him the video and I gave him some tips. When I found out, he wasn't really a racer. He was just a really quick dude.
Yeah.
His lines were clean, super clean. But I almost just backed into him so many times because he was just braking so early. But I gave him some tips and I was like, yeah, on that chicane, I'm like 140s,
Yeah.
4th gear. And then I downshift to 2nd.
Yep.
And then I start braking at the line.
Yeah.
I said, that's kind of how you want to attack this at that speed. And he's like, okay, I'll try that. And he came off the session. He's like, dude, it was so scary. I just blew past the chicane.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
that is exactly how it should feel.
Yeah.
It should be so scary that when you go to make the turn, it's
It
like,
feels sketchy. It should
it
feel
should
sketchy.
feel sketchy. That's the proper way to take it.
And
yeah.
that's the allure of being on the track is, at least for the people that have experienced it, you're like, oh, like, it's not boring at all because it's sketchy half the time.
Especially a track like Pacific.
Yeah. If you're doing it right, it should feel sketchy.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
at least just a little bit. You're like, if your butthole isn't puckered, you may be taking it a little too easy.
Right,
Like, just
yeah.
a little bit.
Yep.
But, like, that's one of the things is, like, the track is never really boring because of those moments that you get to have and you're like, oh, I never thought about that. Like, when I first realized I could kind of slide the rear into the chicane, I was like, it's like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah.
But I didn't fall.
No. It's. I think
I didn't upset the bike at all. It was just like, did I do that?
Yeah. And I think you have oh shit moments no matter what level you are. Like, I have a ton of oh crap moments, right? But I think having that experience after a while, when you do have those oh crap moments, you know how to correct it.
Oh yeah.
Like the dude being in A group, he almost blew the chicane. Instead of trying to hit the chicane and, going into the cones, he just went straight.
Yeah.
Right? Which is the proper thing to do. Like the way you think at the track, and then you go into the streets, your reaction time actually gets better.
Oh yeah.
And you become a better rider in the streets because of track. So that's a lot of things people talk about all the time. But we're gonna move on. Right? I think we're done with the track thing.
We barely got his input though.
Oh God. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh shit! What he has
What
one.
was your most memorable moment on the track besides touching your knee down? Besides touching your knee down, what was the most memorable moment you've had?
What the guy that was next to us? What bike was he riding? I know it was a Ducati, right? But
It's like a monster.
Was it?
Yeah.
I think my most memorable moment was chasing him my last session. Cause I can like see him off in the distance, and I was like, I'm gonna catch up to this dude. And then when I finally caught up to him, I started cramping up. That shit got me so mad. I was so mad. And then when we got off the track, he was like, dude, how come you didn't pass me? I felt the pressure behind me. I'm like, I was cramping, dude. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like I was trying. I was legit trying to pass him, but I couldn't. I was like, dude, I gotta get off the track. And that was I think that was like the second to last lap. I was thinking about getting off, but then watching him, because he looked like he was going hella hard. I'm like,
Okay.
I can't back down. I'm gonna chase him one more time.
Yeah,
So then we
yeah.
were going around. So that was cool, honestly. Even though we were in C group, it honestly felt like a race.
Yeah.
That's how it felt. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
how it felt to me.
Yeah.
I was like, this is sick.
Okay, well, coming off of that, there was one part that I want to talk about that was memorable to me for you. When we caught up to that one person, I think she or he was riding like some kind of a hyper motard or some kind of upright bike. You started to get nervous, and I saw your head shake coming down the hill. And I think it's because you target fixated on the person in front of you. That's when I got in front of you, and I was like, right, you got to look ahead, dude. Don't look at the person in front of you. That's another thing when you guys go to the track, especially the first time. We tend to target fixate on the person or the bike in front of us, and that's what really messes up your lines. If you focus on doing the right thing and not really paying attention to the people around you, easier said than done, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Easier when something's moving in front of you. That's what you focus on. But when you go to the track, you don't want to focus on other people. You want to concentrate on what you're actually doing and what the goal is, right? And for you, it was what? Knee down, having the correct lines, getting faster, and hopefully passing somebody, right? That'll be the result of doing the right techniques. So I think you did great, man. And, you know, just to end this topic, this guy, even with a 2.2 GPA, right? He's getting degrees, right? He listens very well, and he applied the techniques that I taught him, and I was very proud of you, dude. I was so freaking proud of you.
Thank you.
You kept your lines were very, very good. You only missed a few cones, which the cones that I miss all the time is like the turn 6 cones, because you're hauling ass on turn 6. So I tend to miss that first set of cones all the time. So you did great, dude. Good for you, man.
I'm ready to go again.
You ready to go again?
I'm ready to go again.
He's thinking about the 23rd. So
Well, no, go with us on the
October
in October.
PIR.
I think that's when like the whole group is gonna go.
To Oregon?
Yeah,
We're gonna trail it.
Portland, dude. It's not that bad. It's
Yeah.
2 hours. It's only an hour more than the regular one.
We'll see.
Than the Ridge.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll
All right. Fine. Okay. Next topic, dude. You wanna start us off?
I don't really know much, but
I think Storm could do it. That's up to you.
it's actually we'll leave it to you, good sir.
Oh,
'Cause this actually
Yeah, this
falls
is
more-
yours, yeah.
This falls
Okay.
more into your realm.
Yeah.
honestly.
addressing bike talk. That's like are we talking about like the helmet creators? That
Yeah,
don't
yeah. We're
have
talking
bikes?
about Matthew Woods and
Bike talk as
right,
a whole
right.
realm.
And
Okay.
the I guess I've never watched this dude, but he talked to me offline. He's a fan of Adobo Moto. Zenith. Is that guy?
sounds
Zenith
familiar.
FRS or something? Is that him?
He sounds so familiar.
They said they make. I've never seen Zenith's content,
Uh-huh.
but I heard they make similar type of content. Where this helmet, I mean, there's
Because
nothing wrong
we
with
have
it.
different perspectives than you because you're more like, not to say you're fully in that scene, but
Yeah.
like
But
I
I'm-
definitely am
yeah.
not. And then Paul does completely different things than you, so you're probably the closest thing to.
I mean, if you, I don't know, like if you have a bike, okay, because Matthew Woods has a bike, and he still kind of does it. So like, it slides and like it works for him, and it's okay for him because he actually rides.
Are you saying like people do the helmet bike thing on TikTok and don't own a motorcycle?
Literally do not
Wait,
own
are
a
you
motorcycle?
serious? No,
Yeah.
there's no shot.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Literally don't have
I mean,
a bike.
Not hating, but it's just like
And I think they kind of just get a little too excited. Like they want to be in the bike scene. They want to be a part of the bike community on social media, that they just get the helmet and like worry about the bike later.
I don't see that as a bad thing though. Because
At least I got a helmet.
yeah, they got the
Especially
gear
if they
for
live in
it.
the state of
Yeah,
Florida.
as long as it's not a rear rock. Oh shit! Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, and I think I think it's when they kind of draw the line with like, well, no, it's when they cross the line with saying stuff like, I don't know how to explain.
you-
Like when
are
they
you-
act like they have a bike, but they
Are you
don't have one.
gatekeeping motorcycles right now, my guy?
No, no,
It sounds like you're being the gatekeeper of the bike world.
no. I think like if you're pretending like you have a bike and that you have bike experience, I think that's where like you cross the line.
But I mean, we can tell, right? Who's
Well, yeah, of course, yeah, but I think that's like the whole like hate with like helmet creators.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not something that I'm into. It's not something that I do. I do hate on it a little bit because I think it's kind of it's kind of cheesy in my opinion. I don't think there's much originality in it. But again, I think what I do too is being repeated now on other creators' platforms.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you know, this guy does maintenance and tips and that kind of videos, and it started getting repeated. So I had to find my own style and niche.
People have been secretly piggybacking off of like what you do, and I'm not sure if the GIXXER hate is rolling off of the backs of Adobo Moto, but I don't know. I saw like a few clips, and I'm like, oh, they're ducking on GIXXERs too.
I love it. I love it. And, you know, I find that flattering actually. I think, you know, some people like message me, DM me, and they're like, hey, what do you think of this guy just reposting your videos? And to me, it's like, it's whatever, as long as it's my face, you know, and people recognize it. They'll eventually find the original creator, which is me. Like, I don't think you can ever get away from people biting your stuff.
Yeah.
No. But I think let's get into originality of content creation while we're here, right? Matthew Woods, I don't think he was the first one to do that type of talking and helmet thing. He just became the most popular, I think. And nothing wrong with him. We're TikTok friends. I've talked to him offline. And you made a good point. You're like, oh, you're not a pretty white boy. What do you think of that? Do you think that hinders creators being like beautiful and a certain color?
Well, in the social media age, yes. If it was anything else, I'd say no. It doesn't really matter how you look, but looking good as a whole manages to get you a following.
Absolutely.
Like not saying that is the only thing, but that's what initially
adds to it.
It would be the type of thing that would pique your interest. So like you're scrolling through, whether you're a guy or a girl, whether you're into guys or you're not into guys, you're like, oh, it's a good looking guy.
Yeah.
Like you stop, you're like, let's see what he has to say.
Yeah.
So that's a door in, and then you have to let your charisma take over. But like a lot of it in today's world is having that initial look and then capturing people with how your personality is.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like going on a date, literally.
No,
like
absolutely.
asking someone for their number. If you look ugly, chances are they're gonna be like, I'm okay.
Sure. Yeah. No.
And,
Absolutely.
and that's the equivalent of swiping up on TikTok.
Absolutely, man. And I think like
All in all,
I remember when I started watching.
I'm not saying I'm a looker. All right. I'm not.
Yeah. No. You're beautiful. First of all, Nate is freaking beautiful. Okay. Anybody who thinks otherwise, come see Storm.
You flatter me.
I remember when I first started watching moto vloggers. The only real moto vlogger that I flocked to was Snooge. I don't know if you guys know him. He looked just like me. He's just a Filipino. He's half Filipino, half Indian. But this dude, you could just tell he's freaking Filipino. You know, he had the typical Filipino tattoo. That's why I loved him, because prior to that, we had like Chase on Two Wheels. We had Motonosity. We had, you know, Yammy Noob. You know, and then for me, I got tired. Actually, Yammy, if you guys don't know, Yammy Noob made a controversial moto vlog one time that said there's no room for black moto vloggers.
Did he?
Really?
That's when I
that?
stopped following him.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there was a guy that went by. They had beef. It was he went by, God, something like Batman or something. He had a Batman logo. Yeah, and he was a creator that I talked to. He was a black motor vlogger. Actually, his content was dope. Yeah, if I can remember, I'll put it here. But and then I think they had beef, and then he made that video, and I was like, yeah, I can't mess with this dude.
Crazy.
Yeah, I can't mess with him, you know. And then I think eventually I stopped watching all of them because none of them really looked like me. And I think representation in this industry is extremely, extremely important to me.
And I think that's where Bike Talk strives, is representation for whatever your culture may be, like past just a bike.
Yeah.
Because of course we're all going to resonate. The three of us will resonate with different groups.
Yeah.
And it's just natural. But of course, having that representation will of course increase your following.
Yeah.
So whether it's people that like to look at you or people that are just like you, I feel like that's where Bike Talk strives.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Like those two things boost you up. And I think like people like Matthew Woods do a really good job of keeping people entertained.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
excellent job.
Yeah, he definitely represents the younger motorcycle community. And again, I had no hate against these bike talkers. I think what you're doing is great. Also, I think he hates you guys. But also, I think you got to eventually figure out a way to innovate.
Yeah.
Right. For me, it was like, I can't continue to do like the coffee shop runs like that. Even for me, I got stale as fudge, you know, and I had to figure out a way to run this business and focus on the growth of Adobo Moto. And now we're here, the probably only motorcycle podcast that has a cast of brown people. If you Google it or YouTube it,
that one.
yeah, go ahead and YouTube it, like motorcycle podcast, Revzilla, all white dudes. I think the next one's probably 44 Teeth, 2 British white dudes.
Yeah, and then there's another one I think that does like primarily like dirt bike stuff. I think it's like Gypsy something.
Okay, yeah.
I can't remember. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
But them too.
Yeah, and our friend Sal, he saw the picture he posted. He was like, "Hey, you guys need a white guy," and I was like, "No, not yet. You'll be a guest eventually.
I think
but let us have this one."
I think he would be an excellent guest.
Yeah,
because Sal is full of knowledge.
Yeah, he is.
So much knowledge.
Yeah, and he's just a big, goofy Italian dude.
Yeah.
Right? He's great. Yeah. And we are going to have guests. We're going to have Machine Gun Alex here. We're going to have, Lil Nicky, and maybe fucking Abel will just
Silent
sit
Abel.
here. Yeah. Like, what do you think, Abel? He was like, yeah, I don't know. It's cool.
Maybe we'll get him to like actually talk. Not saying Abel doesn't talk, but
yeah.
We're going to have to get him to talk if he wants to come sit.
Exactly. Yeah. What do you think about what we just said before we get into the break?
About the whole bike talk situation? And
no, about the whole, the representation. What do you think about representation? What are your thoughts on representation? Because you're a little bit younger, right? You watch moto vloggers. Who are some of your... I know you're a big IMK fan.
I love IMK.
We know you love IMK. IMK, if you're watching this, hit up Stormy Daniels.
Shoot.
He just wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I don't know, man.
Like human to human.
Is representation not important to you as a young person?
No, it definitely is. I definitely love to see more brown content creators in the motorcycle scene. That'd definitely be a dream come true.
Because it's not like we're not here, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you one more example of this. Cardo found me at AIM Expo and they said, "Hey, we should work together." The guy that talked to me, Indian guy. I'm not gonna put up his name. I've told this story before, but I was like, "Yeah, let's do something." And something that I look for every time when a company reaches out to me is who are the people working for them. And they had a lot of people working for them. They believe in representation, but when I went to the creator page on their website, it was like, bro, Fastlane D wasn't even on there as an ambassador of Cardo. One of the biggest black YouTubers right now, dude. One of the biggest black creators in our space right now. Fastlane D wasn't even in there. And he said, yeah, they sponsored me before. And he's really nice, man. He's just like, I'm over here like, yo, what the F, bro? Like, I'm on the phone and I'm like, what's going on? Why weren't you on there? I don't want to work with them if they don't do that. It was just you scroll down, just a scroll of whiteness, And again, nothing wrong with that, but I think it's something you have to be aware of and very conscious about when you are a creator like myself. And it's like, okay, oh God, I don't know how to say this. One of the things that I look for is if they're putting people up that look like me in front. In the front. Yeah. I want to see somebody at Alpine Stars that looks like me in the front. I want to see, different companies putting people who look like us. Because, dude, we are huge consumers of motorcycles and motorcycle products, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, son.
One thing that we were talking about before is how bike talkers kind of pitch the market when it comes to like sales.
Yeah.
Like, of course, the companies want to sell to whoever they want, but the people that actually get them to sell their products is people like the two of you that actually like, oh yeah, I think that this is worth the money. You should definitely buy this. Absolutely,
bro. You know how many times people have said, hey, I bought a Aprilia because of you?
Yeah.
Or like, I bought a KYT helmet because of you?
Yeah.
And that's another huge focus for different companies is like, I think companies in this industry, yes, these are sport bikes and they're made for racing. I think they focus too much promoting racing when they need to promote people like us.
Yeah.
This is the everyday dudes that actually buy your products.
Yeah. And the more diverse you make the following that you have, the more people you can reach out to.
Yeah. And the more sales they get eventually, right? That is the goal, right?
It always trickles down.
They want more money. Put us up. It's true. Look at Yamaha. Why did they stop making, certain bikes? Oh, because their sales dropped.
Yeah.
I wonder why. All you do is show, racers, racing, da-da-da. Like, show some regular people buying the R1.
Yeah.
Like, work with some creators that are, repping your brands.
Yeah.
But they don't. Aprilia didn't. Aprilia.
He is so butthurt about
I'm
Aprilia.
done with Aprilia. Okay. Not to get off topic, but do you guys watch UFC?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a fight this weekend. You guys know who you're going for?
No, yeah.
Oh, shit. I know who I'm going for. So there's this new app, too. Like, do you guys bet? Do you guys like betting?
Yeah.
You do? You guys ever heard of DraftKings?
Yeah.
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Well, DraftKings is the sponsor of today's video. The sponsor of today's Brew Talk is DraftKings. UFC's going down this weekend in Vegas, and I'm a huge UFC fan, so I'm pumped to see who comes out on top. DraftKings reached out to the Brews to offer new customers a special offer. All you have to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use code Adobo Moto, and bet only $5 to get $250 in bonus bets. So do the math. $5 for $250. Even a GIXXER rider can figure this out. So what are you waiting on? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. And again, use code Adobo Moto. $5 for $250. It's simple. DraftKings, thank you for sponsoring today's Brew Talk. You have?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. In Connecticut, you can.
Oh, cool. So there's new user, there's a code and all that. Yeah, for me. Yeah.
Yeah. New Year is it like the $200?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that was the best. I think I made like $1,500 off of that 200.
Shut
It lasted for
no
a while,
way,
bro.
dude.
Yeah.
No way.
It lasted a while.
What the?
Yeah, no.
That's
Definitely,
awesome.
definitely a good way to go.
Definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I've never. This is gonna be my first weekend actually using DraftKings.
Yeah, no. And like, as long as you're making educated bets, it's a great
Oh,
idea.
that's what's up, dude. I'm gonna have to hit you up. All right, welcome back to the second half of Brew Talk episode 1. Our next topic of conversation is why we even ride motorcycles if it's dangerous. Let's start with Storm 6R.
Why I ride even though it's dangerous?
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I wanted to ride is because my dad was riding.
Oh, your dad was Smoke, right?
Oh shit. Oh no, yeah, that's really like the reason why I'm riding. And also I really wanted to race too. But now I feel like I'm just too old for that.
Like race at the track or like drag
Like,
race? At the track?
race at the track.
You're
Like I really wanted to like do that like hella bad.
You
Like, that
are-
was my dream.
You were never too old. We remember when we were at Pacific. Dude
yeah.
came up, was like, "Oh, like it's really nice to meet you, Adobo."
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, "Oh yeah, he's like, I'm out here doing my
Randy.
laps. I'm a club racer." And then he had asked like how was your times?
Oh.
And then he dropped his bombshell of a time, and we're like, "What?"
Yeah.
He was like 15 seconds faster, and mind you, he was at least I want to say he had another 10 to 15 years on Paul.
I remember him. Yeah, he was
Dude.
older gentleman. He was on a
Do not
BMW.
do not ever think that you are too old to do it because
He
it
just
doesn't.
started racing.
He got
No,
he
no,
got like
but-
second place in the Super Bowl.
No, but it doesn't. I mean, even if you started super late in life, you're still gonna have an opportunity as long as you put in the time and effort.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just want to throw it out there because we all got blown away when he was like, "Oh yeah, like what was the time?" He was like 1:30.
No,
Oh, no, he's like, no.
126.
Yeah,
126.
126
you know.
at Pacific.
Yeah.
We're like, wait, what?
The lap record at Pacific is like 122. So 4 seconds off the lap record. This guy
Yeah.
was
And
at least
and,
a couple, like just under a couple decades older than me.
and that day you had ran your fastest time of 140,
139
139. Yes.
on a 600. He was on 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
Yeah.
Wild.
That's
So don't
kinda
ever think
fast.
it's too late.
Yeah.
It's definitely not.
Yeah. So, yeah, I
But-
mean, if you want to race, bro, like they got Wimrus. Club racing is fun, dude. I think like if you get in a novice, you might place 12th, like with your pace right now. But, you could get there. I don't think it's well, you're young, dude. You're younger than me, so I don't think that dream's out the window. But I think, I think content creation, honestly, I think you have a knack for it.
But we got off topic. We got off topic.
We did get out.
But-
Yeah, I'm so
but-
sorry.
But
I don't know. I don't think about the okay, like yes, it's dangerous, but I don't know.
Do your parents like care that you ride?
My mom, yes. My dad, not necessarily.
Let's give them the context first. Which one is Filipino?
My mom.
Oh,
Yeah,
you forgot.
I forgot for a second. I was like, what the fuck?
He
Yeah,
forgot.
no. My mom's Filipino and my dad's black. But yeah, my dad, he didn't necessarily care too much. He was just, kind of just telling me like, hey, like you're gonna enjoy it, but you also got to know like how dangerous it is.
Yeah.
So like we did have these talks about like, hey, like these are the possibilities and this is what could happen, and also the positive, like you're gonna make a lot of friends and like you're gonna enjoy a lot of the riding and exploring and all that. And then my mom's just like,
She's like, you and that damn bike.
yeah, she's like, hell no. Yeah.
But you'll still ride no matter how dangerous.
Oh
it is.
yeah, definitely,
Absolutely.
most
And I think to answer that question from my point of view, I think I agree. I'm gonna ride no matter how dangerous it is. But also, I'm very aware of how dangerous it is. That helps me with what Nate talks about all the time, which is self-preservation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you got that will of self-preservation, you're going to stop doing dumb stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't realize, like, or at least one of the things we think about is like, oh, yeah, people that ride are, like, super, like, down and depressed. And it's like, yeah, but, like, there's a large group of people that have that self-preservation and not do stupid things.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, of course you could go triple digits on these bikes easy. But when you start thinking about, well, what do I have to come back to? What am I leaving is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
It's like that's part of the reason why a lot of us ride safe. And like the biggest thing of like why we ride, because it's fun.
right.
Yeah.
Like plain and simple, it's fun. And a lot of people like the challenge because it's so multi-dimensional of how good you can be and also how much fun it can be is completely tailored to you. It's never a cookie cutter thing. It's like, well, say you want to get into dirt bikes. You can die on a dirt bike. Super easy. You can get impaled by a tree.
Mm-hmm.
You can go off a cliff. But it's so much fun.
It is.
Like the dangerous things don't outweigh how much fun you're having. Ever. And that's part of why we do it.
Yeah, I said it in the last video. I said, hey, this is part of the reason that I ride is because it's so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I'm gonna ride as long as I can, as long as my body is willing to let me ride. So I think the danger does not outweigh the fun, not at all, not one bit. So
I guess that's the eye of the beholder type of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like some people are like, I could never.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. In harm's way? I would never.
So that covers all three topics of this Brood Talk. The last half of Brood Talk, we like to go to the audience, which is the live YouTube. He went live on his Instagram, and we got some questions from the audience. And I'm going to start with, how do you get over a crash? Everybody in this room has crashed.
Oof.
Some more often than not, but I've crashed many times.
You've also, how many years of riding do you
Yeah,
have?
that's a ton. Yeah, like 17. Yeah,
So there's no way you're not going to have more than one.
absolutely. Yeah.
So you'd be the prime person to answer that question. We all have some input, but you've probably had the most. So how do you get over
Yeah. So
a
when
crash?
when I was younger, it didn't really matter. Like, because
kind of rubber bones type of thing?
yeah, that type of thing. I was like, I got it. Like, that was something like, I still have scars, dude. Like, look, that's
That's what riding.
from riding like, look, there's still a pebble in there. You see that black? Yeah, that's
I'm surprised.
gravel.
I'm surprised you didn't have a drunk night at some point in time in your past, and it was just like, let's
take
take
a
a knife
knife.
to this thing.
Yeah,
and just,
no, it's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel it. Yeah, it's just scabbed
Oh.
over from the gravel.
The road
I was doing a
rash.
wheelie, 12 o'clocked it, tried to save it. My short ass couldn't.
Oh.
You were trying to Fred Flintstone before your
Yeah,
legs gave
no,
out.
exactly. Dude, I was like hanging off like this with my feet, dude. Yeah, it didn't work. But no, the way I get over it is, just slowly over time, just try to forget about what happened. But it's still hard. Like, I was at the track the other day. I was scared to throttle.
Yeah, I was going to say, what about your most recent crash?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did you kind of get over your most recent
I
crash?
still really haven't. Like, it's like I was at the track the other day, and I found myself throttling later than the person that I was following two control riders. They were really fast. I think Amra or Wimra racers. Very, very fast dudes. But I feel like I could have been closer to them if I had just throttled earlier. But my problem was I was leaned over, and they were throttling leaned over, and I was still very much afraid. So I would wait, and I would catch them at the brake because I would just brake later than them, and that's like how I kind of stayed with them.
Okay.
But I mean, you don't really get over it for a while until you're confident and be like, okay, it's just time, more seat time. That's how I get over it. How do you get over it? How did you get over your really crappy GIXXER crash?
So what happened in your crash?
I was out. It happened in LeGrand. Me and my friends were just going back and forth, and I think ego really like got in my way because I haven't ridden with him for a while during that time, and when I finally like caught up, like we caught up, and I was like, yo, I'm learning all these new things, blah blah blah. Like let me show you some stuff, like show you what I learned. So when we got out there, his pace was like a little bit slower than mine. So I overtook him, and then that's when like it just went all downhill from there. There's just one. It's just one. You know where that like turnout is at? It is like.
So the audience doesn't know, but yeah, go ahead.
Was it where we stopped when my bike just cut out?
No,
Or
it's
is it the
probably
next one?
it's the next one with like all the graffiti on the ground and stuff.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
So it's probably like a couple turns after that. There was a box truck coming in the opposite direction. And I was leaned over, and I'm thinking like my head's about to get knocked off. So I stood the bike up just a little bit, hit the cliff face wall, and then got bucked off the bike, slid, and then hit the guardrail. I fractured eight ribs on the left, broke my collarbone in half, and then
How fast were you going?
That's a bad round.
Yeah,
this is the
dude.
first time. You didn't tell me it was that bad.
yeah, no, it was bad.
You were
And then-
hospitalized.
Yeah, and then I sprained my ankle all on the left side, and the only thing I was thinking of on the ground was my elbow, which is weird because it was a road rash.
Oh, okay.
That was the only thing that was hurting. at the
Did you wear
time.
gear?
I had track pants and then I had a sweater. So yeah,
Not very smart.
yeah, I know.
Not very smart.
But how I got over it though, I think well, the second day in the hospital, I was already looking at bikes.
Did you ask the coveted question of, how's my bike? Whenever you get in a crash, that's the first thing. How's my bike?
So when my
Where's
friend,
my bike?
when my friend ran over, he was asking me how I was doing, and I was telling him I'm good, and then people were stopping. And I called him over again. That's the first thing. I think that's the first question I asked him was, "How was my bike?" He's like, "Don't worry about that, man." He was like, we got to make sure you're good. But yeah, just to go back to how I got over, I think it definitely did take me a while to get over that, because when I got the bike, when I got the ZX6R, I took it real slow, really slow. And then I think it was like the first nice day, I went back out there again just to see like what exactly like went wrong.
Yeah.
And just to kind of like replay everything over and over again. But
I never got that chance to. I haven't been back to Pacific since my crash.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the reason I'm just like, I'm still like, it's been a few months, but I'm still kind of like, because it's not until I get back to where it is, because didn't you get a chance to go back?
Yeah. I think it was like maybe, I want to say a month later.
Okay.
And it was like I maybe had another like 300 miles on road before, which is not much time when you really think about it. Before it was like, all right, back of the track, let's do this again. And oh god, that was so for context, I went down at the track. That was like my most notable crash. That's what we're going with.
Yeah. Of course.
So it's a corkscrew at this track called the Pacific Raceways. So it's going around the first turn. It's like a weird downhill, so you're like slowing all the way the hell down, coming from over 100 miles an hour. And then you kind of just coast around. And right as soon as you're making that second curve, you are pretty leaned, but you're in between two sections. Like there's like kind of like a visual marker for you to like base your like approximate location where you are. I was about
okay, hold on. He's glossing over that. It's a tar pit or dirt.
No, it's a tar snake.
Tar snake.
The
or
edge
dirt.
of the track.
Yeah, and it's like 2 feet. that you
No,
got to
it's-
get your bike
Yeah,
through.
I guess it is like 2 feet.
It's like 2 feet, dude. It's pretty sketch.
Yeah. So you got this like little slip that you have to slide, like get your bike through. But as soon as you're like through it, you're basically full throttle, full pin, all the way back up, riding your bike back up. And I was just kind of like, all right, cool. I'm about to crank on it to start accelerating again. And all of a sudden I'm like, there's no bike under me anymore. It's like, this is weird.
Yeah.
It's like, where did the bike's over there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, tumble. And I was like, I just got in I went down the track. I was like, oh, okay. I got up. I like checked all my extremities because at this point I didn't realize how fast I was going. I looked back at the footage and it was like, oh, I was maybe going like 35, 40 miles an hour, which on a track is pretty slow.
Yeah.
So
That's a good wreck.
yeah. So I got up and was like, nothing seems broken. So I got up, picked up the bike, tried to turned it on, was like, all right, I'm going to get off the track now.
And this guy pulls up. I just got done with the session. This guy pulls up, and his mirrors are gone. And I'm like, his mirrors fell off. He didn't tighten the bolts. And then as he gets closer, I noticed he had no windscreen.
No windscreen.
And I was like,
Oh my.
oh, Nick. Oh, not Nick. Sorry. Oh, Nate went down. And I was just like, oh my God, dude, you okay? And I know like your finger was a little jacked up.
Yeah. All I did was like the only real thing that I did was jam my thumb.
Yeah.
So I jammed my thumb and kind of rolled my ankle because the way the bike fell,
Yeah.
it did fall on my leg. But because we were sliding, it went over top of my like leg and just kept going. Like I was able to like hike my knee up, get it out.
Right.
But it could have been worse if I was
yeah.
like not coherent enough to think to lift your legs out from underneath the bike if possible.
Yeah.
But
A month later, Nick wanted to do his first track day. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not missing that.
yeah.
And then this guy's like, I'm not missing it. Same tires.
Same tires,
everything.
Same everything.
Same bike. Back at the track, bro.
And
oh my God.
the way that I kind of got over it was I ended up like each and every pass that I had. So our sessions are 20 minutes ish. So it's like every time I'd go through, I'd get a little bit lower, little bit lower, little bit lower. I wasn't just like sending it because obviously technically in my own head, I'm terrified to go back to that same point because the funny thing is I dragged knee the lap before that and was like, oh, sick. Like,
I'm back.
I know where I'm going. And then that next one after that lap that I dragged knee, I was like, I'm dragging body. So I'm like, it's so weird. I don't want to drag knee because this means I'm getting real close to dragging body again. I was like, you know what? I should have trusted it because I know the proper form. I know how it works, like physics wise. So it's like, you just have to do it.
Yep.
And I, inch by inch, kept getting lower, kept getting lower, kept getting lower to the point where it was like, okay, now I'm dragging knee again.
Yep.
And then I was like, okay, I can trust my ability. It was an accident, but I did something wrong then. And as long as I don't keep doing the same thing wrong, whatever it may have been, because I still can't even fully say what it was because it was the last lap of the last session that I was going to do. So as long as I'm doing better than what I did, I should be fine. And then that helped me get through it.
That's good. Yeah. Now you're still riding and,
Yeah.
you know, we're all still here having fun, having a blast.
Oh yeah.
You just got to take it one ride at a time. Next question is mistakes inexperienced riders do the most. I like that one. Let's start here.
Target fixation. Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. That's a huge one.
I've heard
I did that
of
at the
some
track too.
accidents. Oh, yeah.
More than a few times actually. I think
I
that
think we're all kind of guilty of that at least once. I mean, now you got to experience what it is along
Yeah.
the track, but like you realize you're like, oh no, I'm locking on. You feel like a missile. You're like, no, I can't lock on. I can't lock on.
That's when you start going wide and then you see dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that one. I think that's a common mistake. I think another one is riding beyond their limits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people just ride way too hard only like just because you can.
right.
Doesn't mean you should. And then it definitely doesn't mean you have the experience
Oh yeah.
to be riding, 100 110 lane splitting in the middle of LA type.
We have to laugh because we literally got finished doing that.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie. Butt pucker moment.
Oh,
whole time, bro.
Oh yeah.
The whole time. So
Californians, y'all got it.
Yeah.
Y'all got it.
yeah, Californians, y'all crazy.
Y'all got it.
Washingtonians got nothing on y'all. But we just did a meet and I kind of did a little bit of splitting. Only because I could, And that's the story. Moral of the story is just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. What about you? Any other inputs? Common mistake riders, new riders make.
I want to say following the footsteps of people that aren't necessarily putting out the right example and they know it.
Yeah.
So it's like, just because you have someone to follow, it's kind of like the good old saying that you definitely heard your mom say, like, oh, if your friends are jumping off a bridge, are you going to do it too? Like, it's kind of like that. Like, you can make the distinction of, should you be doing that? Like, really? Yeah. Like, why? Oh, because they did it? Like, no,
like
you can
wheelies.
still like, you can still differentiate yourself and be yourself without having to do everything your friends do.
Yeah, there's been more than a few times where, like, I'll go riding with the homies and they'll go out, do all the crazy stuff, and then they're looking back, waiting on me, and they're like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, bro, I'm chilling, dude.
Yeah, it's like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I ain't doing what y'all doing.
Yeah. Spouses and riding. Like, I'm married.
Mm-hmm.
Nate's married. You're engaged.
Mm-hmm.
How do they feel about you riding bikes, knowing how dangerous it is?
Yeah.
I can go. Yeah, my wife got me into motorcycles.
Nate is a little different.
Yeah.
Nate's wife, Kay, is way cooler than him, and he's going to explain.
Yeah. So she had got her bike, and I had learned on hers. That way, like, I could help also give tips, because I have a weird skill where I kind of, like, understand new things a lot faster than some people, especially that are, like, brand new, and I get to that intermediate level a little bit quicker. So I was like, okay, I'll learn that way, I can help out. And then all of a sudden she left for 3 months, and then I got, like, substantially better because all I did was ride. And then it was like 2 track days later. And then it was like, okay, well, now I'm a little bit better than I'm better than she is at riding, but she is still enthusiastic and always willing to go on rides and support me in whatever way. So I'm lucky that she's like, have at.
I love it.
Have at. She's like, cool, can I come? I'm like, all right, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so cool. What about
you? My fiance she is a mixed bag of emotions and thoughts about riding. In the beginning, she was, I would say, like, a little confused on why I wanted to ride, because our first like 2 years, I never brought up riding to her. Never told her, hey, I want to get in ride. None of that. So when I brought it up to her, it kind of like was like, whoa, like, why do you want to ride?
It's like finding out that your significant other is a secret gun.
Right.
Nowadays, they're like, what? You like guns?
But now it's like she has like a love-hate relationship with riding now, because I'm riding so much and then having to put out content, and then she'll end up liking it, and then something ends up happening, which beginning of the year, I watched one of my friends pass away and then hated it. And then I found success with with Instagram and stuff, and then she loves it again. And then one of my friends gets into an accident right out the house, and then now she hates bikes. And then now she's starting to learn how to ride, and now she loves bikes again. So it's like,
I think that will definitely help that she's like learning how, because it'll kind of change your perspective on like how you like when you choose to hate and love it.
Right. And then that kind of goes back to why we ride, even though it's dangerous, because she was always confused on like, all these people are getting hurt and dying. Like, why do you keep riding? I kept telling her, like, you will never understand unless you actually ride. And I think it's starting to like click for her a little bit. Yeah. Like, cause she's enjoying it a lot. And there was one time where she actually came back. We came back from her practice, and she was like, I can see why you guys like this now.
That's cool.
Yeah. So she's definitely starting to love it a lot more now, though.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. I hope she gets a bike. That'd be really dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mrs. Storm Sixer.
Jesus.
My wife does not like motorcycles. She hates the very thought of me riding bikes. But I love it, and
it's with valid reason too.
Yeah, of course. Come on. Yeah, they are dangerous. I actually taught my son how to ride motorcycles when he was 13, and it was just kind of like a sigh of relief when he told me it's just not for me, dog. This ain't for me, dog. Because yeah, it is very dangerous. But I think over the time, I've learned to ease her anxiety about me riding motorcycles. I check in with her on rides. I let her know when we're gonna start a ride. I let her know when we stop. I let her know that I'm okay. I let her know that I'm coming home.
Yeah.
And that is something that I learned to do over time because I didn't do that before.
Yeah.
And she would be afraid, like, why aren't you texting? It's been a couple hours. I haven't heard from you. I just wanted to make sure that you're okay. And I thought that was kind of silly at first. Like, why are you checking in on me? I'm not a little kid.
Yeah.
But I understand now, especially with having kids.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
Yeah, I make sure, like, if my kids are home and I'm about to go on a ride, I give them a kiss. Because, knock on, Bostlewood, something happens to me and I didn't get that chance. And that's part of the reason I started the Adobo Moto is, I wanted my kids to have something to watch in case I ever ride, or in case I ever die riding motorcycles. They have a library of videos to look through that shows who their father is, and they'll never have to ask anybody, like, what was your dad like? Well, dad's on YouTube. He's on Instagram. He's on TikTok. That's who my dad was. I record everything and
Eating in and out.
and
raising canes.
and raising canes at the same time in the middle of LA at midnight. Yes, that is how I combat the stress that my wife has about me riding motorcycles, and she's really not into it. But we are taking a trip to Thailand.
Oh, yeah, Thailand Motor Tours, right?
Thailand Motor Tours with the KYT homies and Abel and Alex, and
I can't
that's
join you
fun.
for that one, but hopefully, the next one.
Maybe
one.
Italy.
Oh,
Italy. We're thinking
I'm
about
there
Italy.
for Italy, though.
Yeah, we're thinking Milan, 100th anniversary Ducati.
I drag knee.
Touched knee.
He touched his
that
knee.
shit.
He's lying. He took his
He took
his
the
knee.
buck off and then scraped it
Knee
against the
buck off and scraped it
ground.
together. The winner of the Insta 360 X4 giveaway. I'm going to have to announce it here. Emma June from Tequila, Washington. I did a random number generator. There was a ton of y'all that...
Nice.
Yeah, and I wasn't going to do this whole thing on the live. But Emma June, Tequila, Washington, congratulations on the Insta 360 X4. That ends the first episode of Brood Talk. I want to thank Storm 6R, a.k.a. Stormy Daniels.
Mr. Dragney.
Mr. Dragney for coming along.
Mr. Touch Knee.
Yes. We got Nasty Nate here. He is starting a new YouTube channel, so look out for it. We're going to be promoting it heavily on Adobo Moto. Sarvesh couldn't be here today, but he is also one of the cast.
So salty. So salty.
We need to reel you in on this,
So
my guy. He's going to have to
salty.
blur that out. My gosh.
So salty. I mean, but we do miss you, Sarvesh.
We do. We miss you, Squish. But that's it. Any last thoughts?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Brood's out.
That was fun.